Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership on the Move. This week, we're going to review Adapting to Change. So, a little recap about how this channel works. At the end of my work week, on my commute home, I'm going to recap or talk about any leadership topics that happened throughout my week, how I coach other people I work with, or how I could help others just by thinking of any ideas of leadership, of what tools to use, or what works for me. Like I said before, today we're going to talk about adapting to change. So this is basically driven around project change. So the main thing that sticks out with me this week, working in a Fortune 500 company overall, there's always change. Working in logistics, things are changing weekly, daily, adapting to the customer needs overall. So that could be project driven, it could be metrics. It could be 5S, waste. So change happens all the time, like I said, throughout the week. So we're just talking about how to adapt to that change, how to make it work for you, for your team, for the company you work for. So my main advice is if change ever happens, don't give up right away. Try it out, give your input. Change always isn't the best thing right away. Things always have kinks in it. There's always things that are going to happen that need change to keep improving, but it also needs your input to help it work. So if you walk in and you have a new project, that process, not a project, a process that changes, and you don't know how to adapt to that, um, my first input is try it out. See how it works, see why the change happened. Get with your manager to have them explain why we're doing that process overall so you could explain that to your team. If you walk in and you don't know the why behind it and you don't have any input for it, then it's going to make you want to give up. And if you give up, your team's going to give up. So first things first, find out why the company's doing it, why it happened, and what's the downstream effect of how it's going to increase, or if it's not perfect, is in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 6 months, where is this project going to end, and what is the goal with metrics? Are we adding things? Are we reducing waste? Just so you could talk about it, and then you could give your input. If you're working in the area that has a change, some you might be able to give that advice that people don't see. So give that advice, be involved, and the more you make that change better, the more you're going to have more passion behind it, and you're going to drive that project for yourself, for your team, and get the teammates involved. You don't want to just be working on it, not let your team know. Give their input. See what works for them, what doesn't work for them. Let their ideas come to life. So once a team member sees that, hey, I'll give this idea, and then you implement it for that process, you're going to get their buy-in. You're going to get that, they are just a voice. They're not a robot. So adapting to change is important, no matter what role you're in, especially leadership. So there's different ranks of leadership. If you're down in the newer rank, moving up in a company, my thing is always try the process, be involved. The more you give that negative attitude, that downfall of, hey, I don't want to do this, this is dumb, this isn't going to work, you're not going to move up with a company. You're not going to adapt to change to make the company better. So if you're a young leader moving up, like I said, try it out, try the process out, give your input. Things aren't going to be good right away. They're going to suck. The new process is going to be terrible. People aren't going to get used to it. They need to get the routine down. So everyone, once you get a routine down, things get better day over day. Build yourself your own metrics. For example, if you're at need a metric of a 50 to process 50 boxes or 50 units an hour, and a change decreases you down to 15 units an hour. Build a metric out in 6 months or 5 months. We want to get back to 50. So each week we're going to ramp this up to work with the team. So that just shows that you're working with change, you're building metrics. Week one, you're at 15. Week two, we're going to get to 20, and then build actions around that of how you're going to get to that 20 goal. 2 weeks out, we're going to get to 25, build actions out. And you can start adding stuff that gets rid of waste, that gets stuff that doesn't make sense, until you get to that 50 goal. And then you bring your team in with you. You bring, your teammates in. If you got a leader that's under you, you're bringing them involved. If they want to move up, they want to grow with the company, they could have this built into their resume of a project they worked on to increase your rate or metrics overall throughout those 6 weeks. And it's a resume builder for you if you ever wanted to go to a different company, or if you ever wanted to move up with that company, you could, build that into your resume of what actions you took and how you got the company back to where they should have been before the change happened, or even better, of why the change happened. You could speak on that so it helps your own growth. But the moment you shut it down and you give up and you don't adapt to the change, you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow with the company. It's going to show that you don't want change. You don't want to make things better for a company overall. So that's my main thing about adapting to change, especially with new leaders. If you guys want to drop in the comments of any change that you guys worked on, or any projects you worked on that you made work, or you don't know how to make work, and I could interact and give you step by step of what you could do next for change with your company. We could talk about it that way. So that is this week's topic. Some rear view reflections that we have, just for myself, as when I was a young leader, of when change ever happened and a new project came out, I just didn't know the why behind it, so I really didn't care. So my biggest advice is get the why, get the input, get the buy-in from everyone around you. Make sure you have buy-in. If you don't have buy-in, then no one behind you or under you is going to have buy-in. So thank you guys for joining the channel, and hope to see you back.